Hey everybody, what's up? This is your boy Game, and we're sitting here right now about to talk about Elder Scrolls Online and how it compares to Wildstar. Alright, I've played both games up to level 10, at least, both games, so I don't have any experience firsthand with the endgame. However, I know what both games are going to be providing us as MMO players. So I feel like I'm in a somewhat decent position to speak about both games and how they compare, and at the end offer which one I'm gonna go with and why. Elder Scrolls Online is in a perfect position right now. It really is, because Wildstar isn't coming out for another couple of months. So Elder Scrolls Online, with its launch already underway, is in a great position to scoop up players and not let them go. However, I am worried that a lot of players are going to sink into ESO, not realize what kind of MMO Elder Scrolls Online is, and be sorely disappointed. And I'm gonna tell you why. Elder Scrolls Online is a game that reminds me of Star Wars: The Old Republic, in that it's all about the journey. Star Wars: The Old Republic, hands down, in my opinion, has the best voice acting and story, driven questing system that I've ever seen as an MMO player, and I've played almost all of them. ESO does a fairly well job as well with the questing, in terms of being, voice acted. There's a lot of voice dialogue in the questing. Now, Elder Scrolls Online's questing is going to appeal to a very specific crowd, and that is the crowd that appreciates Skyrim type questing, where you use that compass up at the top, and these different arrows, black on black, or white arrows, or black on blue, and all this other stuff to find your quest. There's no hand-holding with ESO. There are no, at least from what I could see getting up to level 10, there really is no hand-holding in terms of like exactly where to go for your next quest or things of that nature. The final quest in an area does not point you to, the next quest hub, so to speak. Quests seem to be spread out a lot, and I could be totally off my rocker here, but just going off of what I felt. And the quests, it was very frustrating for me playing Elder Scrolls Online in terms of the questing, simply because, you do a quest and you get no XP. You do a quest, and then you got to do another quest, and another quest, and another quest. It's just a long chain of quests before you get to your first, okay, you're done, here's your experience. I didn't like that. I don't like that. And that's just me. I mean, you guys might thoroughly enjoy that. Graphically, Elder Scrolls Online isn't what I would call beautiful. It's not ugly, but, there's nothing about ESO that really stands out to me in terms of the graphics. Maybe they're a little dry. There's no pop, as far as the graphics. As far as PvP, well, Elder Scrolls Online did PvP really good when it comes to their one and only option, Cyrodiil. That's all you've got for PvP, folks, is Cyrodiil, and jumping into a huge instanced area where, you're vying for Emperor, you're vying for points and everything like that. And it was done very well. Think Guild Wars 2's World versus World versus World, but done the right way. And what I mean by that, when I say done the right way, is that you can't port, to the map, to a map that your enemy is on, and run 2 minutes and take it. Elder Scrolls Online Cyrodiil really allows for guerrilla tactics, and clandestine operations, and I like that. I like that, Cyrodiil embraces smaller level gameplay. You don't necessarily have to run around with the Zerg to enjoy yourself or get experience in Cyrodiil, much like you have to do in other games such as Guild Wars 2. However, the big drawback for me is that's all I got. That's all you get is Cyrodiil. So, there is no open world PvP. There are no arenas. There are no battlegrounds. There's nothing but Cyrodiil. So, you're going to have to be okay with that. As far as, late game, end game content, I'm not extremely familiar with what ESO has to offer. I believe there are some veteran type level dungeons, and then there are some adventure zones that are made for 12 people. I think they have 12-person content. So just not, I don't feel like it offers a lot of options. And I think that's my impression of ESO altogether, is that it just doesn't offer you a lot to do. It's a pretty streamlined game, carefully packaged. All right, it's a theme park game. No mystery about that. No arguments from anybody there. So was Wildstar. But if you're going to play Elder Scrolls Online, make damn sure it's because you enjoy the journey. You enjoy questing and exploration and lore and voice dialogue. That needs to be a big piece of what turns you on about Elder Scrolls Online. If not, I am going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say you are leaving yourself open for some disappointment. Okay? My final conclusion, Elder Scrolls Online is a good game. It's not great. There are a lot of things that it could have done better. But it's a good game if you enjoy that type of MMO. Star Wars The Old Republic. All right. Now, let's flip a little bit. Let's talk about Wildstar. Graphically, Wildstar, you know, I mean, there's no groundbreaking, innovative graphics here. It looks like, you know, kind of like World of Warcraft would in 2014. But I do like how vibrant it is. The game just pops out at you, you know, and I guess it helps with the telegraphs in combat and things like that. But you know, it's just a vibrant atmosphere is all I can say. It's colorful, it's cartoony. You know, Elder Scrolls Online is high fantasy, a little bit leaning more towards reality based, whereas Wildstar not at all reality based. It's cartoony, sci-fi, but I like it. I dig that. Now, as far as the questing in Wildstar, your hand is held, like most MMOs, you know. If you're a little lost, you can click on the quest on the right, and you'll get a little arrow. Go this way. Excuse me. Go this way. I like that. Now, as an MMO player of many, many years, I don't play an MMO for questing. I play an MMO to get to the meat and potatoes of what the game has to offer. And that is probably, more than likely, PvP. I'm a PvPer. I love it. So, you know, I like the fact that Wildstar's questing is a little, to me, it's a little quicker, it's a little bit more to the point, and it's instant gratification. You do the quest, give me my XP, let's move on to the next hub. Get me 3 or 4 quests, get my XP, move on to the next hub. So I prefer Wildstar's questing over ESO. Again, it's about the journey in ESO, not so much in Wildstar. Now, as far as PvP, Wildstar offers battlegrounds, ranked arenas, 40 versus 40 war plots, where I believe your guild gets a plot of land. You can plant defenses. You can plant a raid boss that you've captured from raiding on your war plot to defend against an opposing war party of 40. And the 2 war plots go clash mano a mano. In addition to war plots, which I think is going to be a lot of fun, there's also open world PvP, which is big for me. I need PvP options. I need to be able to do a lot of different things with PvP. I get bored easily. So I definitely prefer Wildstar for my PvP needs. Now, in terms of PvE, Wildstar offers, obviously in addition to questing, like ESO, Wildstar offers adventures, which are kind of like mini dungeons. Then they offer their dungeons. And then they offer 20-man raiding, 40-man raiding. They also offer housing. I don't think ESO offers housing. So as far as PvE, I think Wildstar just offers more. In terms of combat, which is really important to me, ESO definitely feels bland. Blah. There's nothing like, there's nothing in ESO. Nothing at all. It's, you know, tab target and, you know, I believe your skills hit automatically. Yeah, they do. Most of your skills hit automatically. Some skills are skill shots, but most of your skills are going to hit automatically. Kind of like World of Warcraft flavor. You know, stats, buffs and all that stuff determine what you got hit for. Wildstar's combat is chaotic and fun. Every single thing you do in Wildstar against your opponent or against an ally is a skill shot. Think of an MMO that handles like Smite, you know, the MOBA, all right? Telegraphs all over the place. You're going to lay down a heal, you better aim it right. You're going to hit your opponent with a stun, you better aim it right. So, you know, as far as combat goes, hands down, Wildstar. Now, let's talk about character customization, okay? More specifically, let's talk about skill customization. Making your character what you want it to be. I have to say ESO does it a little better. You know, Elder Scrolls Online, when you level up, you get a skill point. You can put that skill point in armor. Do you want to specialize in light, medium, heavy? You can put it in weapons. Do you want to use a restoration staff, a healing staff, a great sword, a mace, a single sword? You get skills in there. Do you want to put skills in your class? And then you get to choose whether you want to put skills in, you know, your whatever your support ability is, you know, because I play a Templar, so I've got, I think it's like 2 damage trees and a healing tree. And then you can decide to morph your skills, meaning that if I have a single target heal that I'm spec'd in, at some point that skill is going to be morphable. Is that a word? I can morph that skill into, say, a group healing spell, or instead of healing 2 people, it heals 4. So in Wildstar, you do get some specialization. I mean, you can you get ability every time you level up in Wildstar. You get a skill in your respective skill trees, okay, which are your DPS, your support, which is either going to be healing or tanking, your utility, which are like your blinks, your stuns, your teleports, all that good stuff, and then your path, which, you know, I'm not going to go deep into paths, but it's another cool thing that Wildstar does. And then you can put amps into yourself, I guess. So what an amp is you go in and you decide what you want to specialize in. So do you want to specialize in your support skills? You're going to put your little amp points in your support tree to beef up your support skills. Do you want to specialize in PvP? There are PvP amp skill sets that you can specialize in and become better inherently at PvP. But Wildstar doesn't have the in-depth skill customization that ESO has. And that's where I tip my hat, you know, to Elder Scrolls Online. I think they did that a little bit better. Overall, however, my choice, my recommendation would be Wildstar. I feel that Wildstar is giving you more bang for your buck and more bang for your subscription. I think it's a more polished game, and the content is just undeniable. There's too much to do in Wildstar. So, however, if you enjoy questing, Skyrim style, you enjoy voice dialogue, and just in short, if you enjoy the journey, okay, in an MMO, not necessarily the destination, then ESO might be your cup of tea. So that is my comparison of ESO versus Wildstar. That being said, my choice is Wildstar. I choose Wildstar. As a PvPer, Wildstar just has too much to pass up. I can't pass it up. And then finally, folks, we do have a guild for Wildstar. You can go to wearelegend.guildlaunch.com and apply for our Dominion faction PvP, PvE, a little bit of everything guild. As always, Doc Nation, good luck, have fun, kick ass, and get laid. I'll see you guys tomorrow on stream. Take it easy.